I don't know how you guys felt about this, but I felt it was a 3-touchdown game all game. The Lions were completely dominating that game, and you look up, Stan, and it was a 1-score game and late in the fourth quarter, and you're like, how did this happen? But hey, a win is a win in this league. The Lions got it done, 2-1 on the year, and still have not lost 2 games in a row since October of 2022.
This is a small but a statement game. When you want to move up to the next level, as is expected from the season that they had last year, you have to win these games. This is a good team, the Cardinals were, and it's on the West Coast, different time zone. Good teams go in and win that. I was concerned. I didn't think they were going to win. Because when we go back to the first week, we opened up with the Rams. Mm-hmm. We lost to Matt Stafford at home without their best receiver and without Aaron Donald, who had obviously retired. And they took us to overtime. Mm-hmm. I knew Baker Mayfield was going to come in there the following week and play well. Baker is a heck of a player. He's starting to grow up, and I knew he would play well. I wasn't overly shocked that we lost that game. I was so concerned now we're going to the West Coast. We're playing a good football team because Kyler Murray is always able to keep you into the game. But when you go out there and you're able to dominate early, yeah, they made a run late, but win a game like this against a good team on the road, now you're moving to the next level. So I'm really interested to see how they handle next week going to Seattle. But this is the kind of game that the Lions should have won if they want to be considered one of the top-tier teams in the NFL.
9 straight wins after a loss. Mm-hmm. And it goes to what, 24 weeks basically? 9 straight wins after a loss, which is phenomenal and unheard of in Lions lore. And they played with fire all day yesterday. Could not put the Cardinals away. And thankfully, Kyler Murray threw that pick, that interception, like pop-up to Kirby Joseph in the end zone. Should never have thrown that ball. And the Lions got away with one yesterday. Jared Goff definitely got that snap off before the 2-minute warning.
I heard that whistle, though, right away.
But they blew it early.
They
blew it early.
Yeah.
Usually they wait 2 seconds after the clock is run off. If you remember that.
I know it, yeah.
But they blew that whistle early. Otherwise, it's a pick six, fumble pick six. And he didn't play well again. I know he didn't have a lot of incompletions in the first half. He just don't look right to me. He just does not look right to me. I'm glad he ran for that last first down to put it away, but he just don't look like the guy from last year.
You're talking about Jared Goff?
Yeah.
So let's look at Jared's history. He's up, he's down. He's up, he's down. That's kind of been how his career has gone. He's played some great years. And it's not necessarily the next year, but he goes up and down more than any other quarterback I've seen. He can play with the best in the league, and then sometimes he looks like, hey, this guy's been to the Super Bowl? Yeah. So I'm not sure what it is about him, but he is so inconsistent throughout the season, it's just hard to kind of figure out. I've often wondered how these Lions are going to do if they sustain injuries. Now we're going to, just looking ahead short, we're going to really find out how good Brad Holmes is. Because if we sustain injuries with any, and we haven't done it yet, with any of the starters, how good are our backups? This is the football season. We talked about people going out injuries for the injured for the entire year already. We're going to have some injuries with some key players, hopefully not, coming up soon. Will we have the people to step up so we can stay at the top tier? I don't know.
Maz, you got some news on that? Was that
Marcus Davenport? We didn't even hear that he was on the injured list. Hurt his elbow. Ian Rappaport reports it is a serious injury to his elbow, and he could be lost for the season. So Marcus Davenport, one of the free agents, matter of fact, I think the first free agent they signed, looks like we're not going to have him. Brian Branch in concussion protocol, more than likely today.
He was out cold.
Out cold. Out cold. It was a missile against missile. I mean, their guy went down.
I know.
And he went straight. So I don't know who you blame on that. Is this an accident, I guess?
I do feel like Brian Branch tackles with the back of his head, though. He goes down and
Sam Laporta, good news. It's just a lower ankle injury, a sprain. He played throughout it. They taped him up. But you got other news on Barnes, McNeil. Those could be long-term injuries as well.
Long-term, but not season-ending.
But we don't know that yet. But, yeah. When you have a towel over your head, and Derek Barnes was going out on the cart.
Right.
I kind of say, he's done.
But just to stand your point about, what it looks like to sustain, long-term injuries, and if this is true about Davenport, we haven't heard from the Lions yet, but Rappaport is usually pretty good. You know, there aren't too many teams in the league that go through an entire NFL season without sustaining a major injury. You hope one doesn't happen to the quarterback, and you hope one doesn't happen to one of, like an Aiden Hutchinson or a Amon-Ra St. Brown or a Jahmyr Gibbs or somebody along those lines. But you are going to have to overcome injuries. Every team does it. What do you look like when you're not at your best? And again, just going back to the Lions game yesterday, they looked so good in that first half. It was one of those, this is who we are. We're going to run the football. We're going to pound you into the ground. And then we're going to also offer up a trick play here and there. Right? And by the way, how about that trick play? Here it is, St. Brown to Gibbs on the trick play touchdown.
You know, we had this play rigged up. We've been practicing for a minute. The dude was pressed. I said, hold on, let me rewind that. The pitch back, I look back, I'm like, oh my God, he's about to score. Laporte was a great block. I'm like, what's the celly gonna be, Jahmyr? He throws it up. I jump over him because, I got the hops. He finished it though. He's him. We do this.
You know, that's just who the Detroit Lions have become. You know, you fake a punt at your own 20-yard line. You throw a trick play in when you needed one at the end of the half. You score a touchdown. But the creativity by Ben Johnson there, getting it done offensively.
This is one of the reasons why Detroit is becoming America's team. They're a fun football team to watch. Everybody enjoy Ben Johnson. Because if the Lions are remotely as good as they were a year ago, he will not be back in 2025. He's going to get a head coaching job. He has put this offense on its back, and I don't care what defense they play, they're going to move the ball. They're going to get close to 400 yards almost every game, and they score points. And, our defense is starting to come along, but, man, our offense is super exciting.
It was great to see the running game get going yesterday. Both backs being used equally almost. And Monty is a beast. How about when they picked him up and they dragged him 6 yards?
Just carried him.
Right. His feet went off the ground. He said he was laughing so hard during that. You ever get picked up like that, Stan?
Well, I didn't carry the ball a whole lot. I was doing the guy who was picking up. We had to pick up other players. So I never got picked up like that. I'd never seen anything like that.
That was pretty
That was hilarious.
That was like a magic carpet ride.
Everybody's top 10 bloopers of the week.
No doubt.
I know that a lot of people will point to this game and say they didn't score a point in the second half, and you're going to pick these guys apart. And, for me, a win is a win in this league. You went on the road and you beat a really good Arizona Cardinals team. Yes, when they consider you as well, the Lions are now a measuring stick game for a team like Arizona. A young quarterback, young offensive player, second-year head coach. They want to see how they stack up against one of the league's best at home in their building. And for the Lions to go in there and impose their will, I thought that was a great win. And it got back to Lions football. We talked last week, Stan, about Jared Goff in a one-score game threw the ball 55 times. That is not who the Detroit Lions are. Not who they are. No. Yesterday, 43 runs, 23 passes. Right. That's who they are. Yeah. They imposed their will on Arizona yesterday.
Well, and the reason we can do that is I think Ben Johnson uses, and I don't know if it's his call or not. It may be him and it may be the running backs coach. The way they sub Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs is absolute. You never know who's coming at you. And both those guys.
That? But as a running back, it's sorry to stop your train of thought, but you just, the first series, it's Montgomery. Second series, it's Gibbs. And if you're Montgomery, though, you might not see the field for about 30 to 40 minutes of real time.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. As running backs go in the NFL now, I think the last bastion of bell cows was Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
They're trying to be that 1,500-yard all-pro back at the end of their contract and get their big payday. They're not going to do that. What you better do is make sure you can play a number of years at a high level and get mid-range money. They're not going to pay running backs $20 to $25 million a year, maybe not even 15. But if you're going to be that bell cow, because when you carry the ball 300 times, you go down very fast. You're not going to be around much longer. And Ezekiel, we're going to talk about it. The Dallas Cowboys had an opportunity to get Derrick Henry. They brought Ezekiel Elliott back. Zeke has nothing left in the tank.
Zero.
Going back to Jahmyr Gibbs and Dave Montgomery, those guys, I can see them playing at this level because when they both go in there, they got fresh legs.
Yeah.
They got happy feet. and they look like they're shot out of a cannon on every play. These guys can play that way for another 4 or 5 years, barring any major injury.
I love it, man. I love what I watched yesterday. And I was in Jersey, so I couldn't see the whole game. It was blacked out in Jersey, so I had to watch the red zone. And red zone is not kind to the Lions. They hardly had them on. Wow. I was like locked and loaded. I had Dan Miller on my phone on the radio, so you can't see the game, but I could hear it. And I was trying to pay attention as much as I can. Every time they went to the game, it seemed like the Lions had the ball and they were driving. It was a 4th down and they were trying to go for it. And then it would disappear. And Arizona would have the ball. Inside Lion territory, the next time I saw it, the Lions had the ball. So I didn't know what the hell what was happening. I can't really zoom in on that game as well as you guys can. But from what I saw, the plays I saw, I was pretty happy. I just was not happy the way the second half, 20 points in the first, and then you have them down. It's 20 to what was the score?
20 to 10.
It was 20 to 7 at one point. And then with 30 seconds to go in the half, it's 20 to 7. And they have a penalty.
Okay.
I don't know, what was the penalty? Do you remember?
It was a late hit on the tackle. Completely unnecessary.
Right, gave up a field goal.
Completely unnecessary.
Gave up a field goal. I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah, it was 20 to 7 after the Gibbs touchdown.
Yeah, it should have been over then. I felt like they let him back in the game at the end of the first half, which I did not like. I'm glad you told me what it was now.
It was a ridiculous late hit.
And then to ice the game at the end, that's a big third, what was it, 3rd and 12 at one point at the end of the game? If you give Arizona back the ball, you got to stop them one more time. Instead, they get the play to Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then the run by Goff seals it. So, sloppy win, I'll take it. And again, 9 straight wins after a loss. They have not lost 2 games in a row in a long time.
This is going to be interesting as we move forward because I just don't see Aiden Hutchinson playing at that level for 17 games. He'll always be a force. What I mean by playing at that level, he's going to start getting triple teams a lot. So Aaron Glenn's going to decide, are you going to start blitzing a little bit more? You have to bring pressure from the other side. When they start paying so much attention to Aiden Hutchinson, these other guys got to come free, and they got to be more disruptive in that. I don't know how you do it. Some of these guys that are getting single blocked, they're going to have to step up, or you have to start blitzing from the second level to make sure you can have disruption going on in the offensive backfield.
You talk about that defense, and you talk about Aiden Hutchinson. Here's what Jared Goff had to say about Aiden Hutchinson yesterday. He got another sack. This guy has been on a tear through 3 games so far this season. How long can it keep up? Here's what Goff had to say about Aiden Hutchinson.
It's special, man. He's fun to watch at practice. You can see he took his game to the next level. This whole offseason, you could tell. I think I spoke about it last week, but like his whole body changed. You could just see like he's growing and mentally, physically, everything, and coming into his own as a player certainly. And I'm glad he's on our side.
And it's not just Hutchinson, though. Some of these guys on the defensive backfield are growing as well. Kirby Joseph has become one of the best ball hawks in the league. If that ball is up and Kirby Joseph is anywhere near it, you can bet your bottom dollar that he's going to make the play. Some guys will be in position. Stan, the difference between Kirby Joseph and a lot of other guys, he makes the catch. Yes. A lot of other guys might bat it away. Right. It might be an incompletion, but to actually come away with the turnover, this guy's been tremendous on the back end.
There's an old saying, what is a defensive back? He's a wide receiver who can't catch. Yeah. But you get some defensive backs, Richard Sherman being one of them too, that have great hands. They just have a great ability to play in the defensive backfield as well. And so when you got a guy like that back there who can also help Terrion Arnold a great deal, because Terrion's he drew a tough card yesterday.
Oh, man.
How
many penalties is that for him? 5 or 6 now?
Exactly.
Leading the league.
So having a great safety can help a young corner come around a great deal. So I'm looking forward to how well this secondary is going to grow.
Terrion Arnold's in everyone's pocket, by the way. He is on those receivers.
Yeah.
So I don't mind him getting these penalties. He's going to eventually learn how not to get penalized. Right now, he's got a yellow marker on him.
It's so funny.
The refs are following him. I'm going to throw a flag on this kid.
It's so funny, Brad Holmes drafts this kid, and just as a joke, you're like, think about any big game in the NFL, right? it's usually marred by some stupid pass interference penalty that isn't really pass interference, but you touch the guy and the refs are going to throw a flag. It's almost a waste of a draft pick.
That's
just
amazing.
joke, tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
But it's almost a waste of a draft pick to draft a cornerback because he's just going to get flagged.
Just leave Kendall Vildor out there, right?
Right. Here's what Dan Campbell had to say about Kirby Joseph and the secondary.
I thought he was very active. I did. I thought he was active back there, and thought he was seeing the field. I thought he was roaming pretty good. That was a heck of a play on the interception, and I just feel like he's I don't know if quiet's the right word, but quietly improving here. He's quietly getting better, and I mean that in a good way. So he's getting better, and I think just with I think that whole secondary, the more they're able to play together, the better we're going to get. They're just going to continue to get better and better and better between Branch and Kirby and CD and TA and Amik, all those guys just playing together, man. It's just going to keep getting better and better. It's really gotten better every week.
It's fantastic stuff. And Amik Robertson is what they've done in the defensive backfield is, they got so much talent back there, and we haven't even seen Ennis Rakestraw yet. It's just really fascinating to see this defense. We talk about the Lions not scoring in the second half. How about this defense holding that high-powered offense to 3 points in the final 30 minutes of the game? That's, to me, that's really what won this game.
Yeah, I sure hope Branch is okay. And going back to that particular play, both of the targets were moving. And when he came down and he got that concussion, I'm like, man, I hope he's going to be okay. So, but when Branch comes off, hopefully he's off concussion protocol this week and comes back to the secondary, they're going to be formidable. This is a very interesting Lions team, and I'm looking forward to it. We have Seattle coming up next week. I think it's on Monday night.
How about 3-0 Seattle, by the way?
Yes.
Mike McDonald's 3-0 Seattle Seahawks.
Mike McDonald's 3-0, and the quarterback, just showing the name,
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith.
Playing great.
The way he has handled his career, because he was labeled a bust, and he backed up for 3 or 4 years and learned his craft, and it's gotten so much better and so much more dependable. But I think we'll still get them because they're coming here, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Geno Smith. Just quickly, we'll go around the NFL and we'll talk about the NFL. But if yesterday in this season has not allowed people to understand that it's not the player, it's where the player goes.
Yes.
That really determines your success.
Yes.
Yep.
Look at Sam Darnold,
Yes.
thrown away by the Jets, thrown away by Carolina, goes to the Rams, has the opportunity to Niners. Has the opportunity to learn behind Kyle Shanahan, and then goes to a really good situation in Minnesota. Look at Baker Mayfield, what this kid's doing. Just go around the league and look where these guys are having success.
Yeah. This is so interesting you said that, because I think it's the 1983 draft that this past 2024 draft, from a quarterback perspective, was compared to. I came out in 82, so it was a year after me when we had Marino, Elway, and all those guys came out. Let's look at what's going on right now. How Caleb Williams is struggling. Michael Penix is not playing.
Yeah.
Drake May's not playing. J.J. Carvey, he's hurt. He's still not playing. I'm not sure if he would be playing the way that Sam Darnold's playing now. And I don't know who else is. Maybe Bo Nix. Bo Nix is playing okay.
Yeah.
He
won yesterday. He's fine.
Yeah, So you're exactly right. When you look at where you go or who you go to, because Tua under Brian Flores was not a good quarterback.
Terrible.
When they brought in the wizard, Mike McDonald, he became a different quarterback. So it depends on where you go and who's coaching you is how successful you will be.
And look at Bryce Young, that poor kid.
Yes.
Thrown to the Panthers, thrown basically away now.
Yes.
The kid can't stay there. There's no way he could stay there. They got to at least free him. I think a great spot for him would be the New York Jets, sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a year.
That'd be a great spot for him.
I think it's a great spot, but that's neither here nor there.
I think a great spot for him would be the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
They could use somebody right now.
Right, but he's not proven yet is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's really not proven.